Hello everyone, it's Angus here at the Bureau of Meteorology. Today we're joined by Caitlin from our climate team because we've been getting a lot of questions about the widespread rain and thunderstorms across Australia this week, given that we're in an El Nino, which, as we know, typically leads to dry weather. So who better to chat to than a climatologist? So Caitlin, with all the rain across the country this week, does that mean the El Nino is coming to a close?
Yeah, great question. It might not feel like we're in an El Nino right now, but the ocean and the atmosphere are very much behaving as an El Nino.
Okay, so we're still planted in that El Nino at the moment, but there has been a lot of rain. This is the radar just from this morning, but we can go back a bit further than that and show the last 7 days of rainfall with extensive wet weather across Australia. Some pretty notable tallies piling up as well. Is it unusual to see this widespread rain in an El Nino?
Yeah, so when people think of the dryness during an El Nino, that's typically experienced during winter and spring. But as we head into summer, that dry signal tends to dissipate and we don't see as strong of a dry signal.
Okay, and that sort of tracks as well because late spring into summer, that's kind of prime time for thunderstorms around Australia, particularly the eastern states. And no doubt those thunderstorms have been contributing to some of the heavy rainfall tallies along those eastern areas as well. So we have seen this kind of thing before.
Yeah, definitely. Around half of El Nino years, we've seen heavy rainfall across much of eastern Australia. And we have an example of when this has happened in the past before.
Okay, so this is from 2009. That was an El Nino year?
Yes.
And this is just 1 week's worth of rainfall within that El Nino. Some big numbers here along the east coast as well. We're seeing 150, 200 millimetres of rain. It was very, very wet in that December. And that sort of leads me back to this year. How are we looking going forward, the rest of this year into next year?
Yeah, we can have a look at our December to February long-range forecast. And we see this dry signal contracting towards northeastern Australia, and much of Queensland is expected to have below median rainfall for December to February. And this is expected and typical of a summer during an El Nino. We're also seeing dry conditions across Western WA as well.
Okay, so dry in some of these northern areas, but for some other places, well, if we were to go back a few months to when this El Nino was just starting, down in the south of the country, it was really dry, wasn't it?
Yeah, so July to October this year, we saw very dry conditions across much of southern Australia. But if we look onto the long-range forecast, we're looking at around a 50% chance of above average rainfall for December to February.
Okay, that's going to be a major shift in conditions then for some of these places which, as you say, were very, very dry for about 4 months there from July to October, but now tracking towards likely to see maybe a few more wet days on our forecast maps.
Yeah, definitely. So the best place to check for what the long-range forecast is going to be is our summer outlook, which will be released next Thursday.
Oh, the official summer outlook. That's big news. Next Thursday, I will be there. I hope you put that one in your diary. So thank you very much for joining us today, Caitlin.
Thanks for having me.
And I hope that we have managed to answer a couple of your questions.